am Mimika Cooney and welcome to Mimika TV, the place to build a brilliant business brand. Today we're talking about how to style your business success. Many entrepreneurs struggle with having clear goals, action needs, endpoints, and a goal to move towards. We need a roadmap to our dreams, and the markers along the way are our goals. CEO, professional speaker, and motivational mentor Stephanie Nickolich is the founder of Style Your Success. She helps women clear the mental clutter, overwhelm, and activate their inner star. She is currently almost 8 months pregnant and running a 6-figure business, and she is going to share with how she does it with us today. So welcome, Stephanie. Welcome to Mimika TV.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
So I had a real blonde moment. I forgot to press record, so excuse us. This has just been a warm-up. So now to get to the real juicy bits after our commercial break, Stephanie is going to tell us exactly how she does this. Now, I know being pregnant, you must have the tiredness, the nausea, and the total overwhelm, but you have got it together. I see Stephanie in tons of Facebook groups. She is putting together a virtual summit, which we will tell you more about soon, happening, you said this week it's kicking off.
So 6 days from today, so next Wednesday.
So she has got it all together and she knows how to really rock it. So let's dive right in and start telling us some tips. So question 1 would be, why is goal setting important in the first place?
Oh, wow. As I mentioned, I kind of learned this the hard way. So, when you go into business, you have all these great expectations of what it's going to be like, right? And then reality hits and it's very, very different. And I became over $100,000 in debt after my first year in my first business, my second business. I felt very alone, very overwhelmed. And I felt like there was a need for a community amongst women. I felt like if I'm struggling like this, other people need to be struggling like this. I had worked with many business coaches. I had taken every DIY program under the sun. And then I hired my long-term mentor and really changed the way that I was thinking about business, about life, about everything. Really shifted my mindset and did get me focused on those goals. Instead of my mentality in my previous business was, I just want to make enough. Enough is not something that we ever say. If anybody knows me or works with me, enough is not part of their vocabulary because enough is not clear. It's not specific. And so when you just ask for enough, the universe starts supporting just enough, which is never enough, quite frankly. And so when you are building a business, it's really, really, really important to get specific as to what goals you want to achieve. So my goal was to hit 7 figures by 2016. And it's not a scary goal because, quite frankly, when you work backwards, which I'm a very big fan of when establishing goals, when you work backwards, you can actually back yourself into that number. So you know exactly what you have to do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and 3 months from now in order to get to that bigger point. So then nothing really becomes overwhelming, when you actually have a roadmap. And I'll tell you right now, with this conference, we're coming pretty darn close. So see what happens when you can just map it out. And every month, I'm a goal digger. Like I am so set on goals now. Not just my own personal business goals, but my team has goals. We meet every morning as we prepare for this conference. We go on, what are we doing for the day that's going to lead us to get to the point that we want to, right? And it's so, so, so important.
And that's what I think is great is what you're saying is, having like baby steps, because to think, I'm going to make $1 million seems like a huge task. But when you break it down, how do you make 500,000? How do you make 100,000? How do you make 10,000? And having those baby steps are totally true. If you can break it down by month, by week, by day, then and also this comes into your point that you mentioned in your bio is celebrating the small wins. You don't feel like such a failure.
Yeah, I don't personally believe in failure. If I did, I would have to say that I've been pretty close to it. But I believe in lessons learned. I believe in every experience that we have in life and business, whether it's not necessarily a comfortable one or not, we have the opportunity to learn something new, learn from our mistakes, and then not do that again, clearly. and then, just being in business in general, there's so many things you're just going to learn that you can't prepare for. So it's just being able to shift and tweak and kind of go with the flow. to where it leads you. You know, when I started this business, I just wanted to create a community for women. I just wanted to empower women worldwide, give them the tools and resources they need to succeed. And then it became so much bigger than that, because I was like, wow, look, this is taking on a life of its own. And I got really clear with exactly what goals I wanted to meet, and now we're on track to meet those goals.
So kind of breaking it down helps you feel like, okay, you might not have achieved 10 things, but you've achieved one thing today, and that you can celebrate that. It's a step forward, because I think a lot of us do. We either lose faith or get really disheartened when we don't achieve like the big thing, where we just break it down and make it actionable bite-sized chunks. It is easier. So let's take this a little further now. How do we take goal setting to when we say, because people talk about goals and we say we know we need them. What would you say is a good process to actually start goal setting?
Well, think of a really big goal that you want to achieve. I like to look at things in a process of, I like to take a year's time, right? Mm-hmm. So where do we want to be in a year from now? Okay, so next year, we're actually already planning our 2016 goals. So from 2016 to 2017, we already have planned out basically what numbers we want to hit. So that's a good thing. You can get prepared to start working on your 2016 goals right now. It's already the fourth quarter, so when 2016 comes around, the first month you're not like, oh no, oh crap, I don't have my roadmap out. How am I gonna hit these goals? And you're already setting yourself up to, feel bad if you don't hit them. So basically, we look at a year in advance, and then we go back and we look at, okay, what programs do we have? What are we offering? What kind of initiatives do we have for our clients? What packages do we sell? Like just everything, like in a big picture, right? Mm-hmm. And then we kind of just map out the direct route to do that. Okay, well, if this is priced at this, then it's going to take 12 clients. I'm just using these numbers, for example. It's going to take 12 clients to meet that goal. Now, how many conversations do we have to start having in order to get those 12 clients? So what is our rate of conversion? So we study conversion rates. Which I'm a very analytical numbers person, so I actually love this stuff. And then it becomes really easy. Listen, if you work backwards, and let's say you have to have put on a webinar that you have to have 1,000 people seeing, then what is it going to take to get those 1,000 people there? And then you do the backwards calculation to the step before that. And then let's say you're converting at 25%. So you need 5,000 people there or 4,000 people there. And then you understand what I'm saying? So because we create these really big goals, and I would say the majority of the reason why we're not reaching them is because we actually don't have the plan, the steps mapped out in order. I call it the how, right? So it's even more important than the actual goal is the actual process to how you're going to achieve that. So you can test it in small amounts. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Your first goal may not be to hit $1 million. Maybe it's to hit 6 figures in your business this coming year, okay? So then break that down and figure out also, this is a really big aha, it's like, are your packages or your prices of your programs or whatever you're offering in alignment with those goals? Because sometimes I talk to clients and I'm like, all right, I challenge them to think. And then they tell me, I'm like, how many new clients do you have to get in a month at these prices? They say 26. I'm like, that's impossible. You can't service that many clients in 1 month. So then you have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, where can I shift or tweak this number in order to get to where I want to go?
So in other words, if you only have time, like say for coaches, for instance, you only have time to deal with 10 clients a month. In order to reach, say, a $5,000 goal, you need to break it down into how much each client can charge for them. Same thing with courses. Like I just launched my own course, Confident Video, and the same thing like you mentioned. I had a webinar and did the conversions, and know that every time I do this, I have to have the goals of how many bums on seats we need. That it'll eventually convert. So, and it's a work in progress. We always work on it. You're never going to just arrive.
Yeah.
It takes us a bit of time. So I love what you said there. Even though you might want to make $1 million in a year, it'll probably take you 5 years to get there. So maybe let's try. Maybe your next launch. Let's just do 10,000.
There you go.
How much money do you need to make 10,000? And sometimes it is. It's. Wouldn't you agree that it's the same amount of time, effort, and energy to get 10 clients than it is to get like say 10 clients at 1,000? Then 100 at $100 at $100, right? Would you say?
I actually would say that it takes the same amount of energy to close one $25,000 client as it does to close one $25 client. Closing one client takes the same amount of energy. So
you may as well charge more.
right? I mean, create something that's of insane value. I mean, like in my business, we have like steps of price points, but I've leveraged myself out of the business. So in my higher price programs, obviously you're working with me one-on-one on a regular basis. You have unlimited access to me. You have access to my team. It's a much, much, much different level of support than being in a group program. But the group program is phenomenal, but it's affordable to everybody, right? Because you don't necessarily get that support. So yeah, I mean, if you're going out to make $10,000 or let's say $5,000 to start in a month, I know sometimes when you're at zero, it seems a little overwhelming to think, how can I make $10,000? But when you actually have a solid plan and you look at the pricing of your programs or whatever you're doing, if you're a marketing expert and you sell marketing packages every month, you know, how many packages do you have to sell? And above and beyond that, how many conversations do you have to have in order to sell those packages? So maybe you have to have 10 conversations to sell 3 packages because you have a 30% rate of conversion. So then above and beyond those 10 people you have to talk to, how many people do you have to reach out to and connect with in order to get those 10 people on the phone to be interested in those 3 paying clients, to get those 3 paying clients? So it actually becomes very, very, very easy. I think we have a tendency to overcomplicate things. But yeah, you know, if the big goal, because I like to say, you know, for the year, let's look at the really big goal. And then your goal for this particular month may only be $3,000 out of the 100. And it when you simplify it and you know exactly what to do every single day to reach these goals, you'll have no problem getting there. You'll probably blow them out of the water and say, wow, I didn't, you know, but what happens is we get so caught up on the thought of lack. We obsess over how am I going to make $3,000 this month? How am I going to make $3,000 this month? How am I going to make $3,000 this month? Instead of every day getting up with the top 3 income producing activities that you're going to do for the day in order to get you to that goal.
Okay, so that's a good lead into the next thing. How do we know, what would you say are the top 3 income producing things? What are the good things are worth us spending our time on?
Well, it depends, I guess, what industry you're in, but I would say visibility, credibility, and consistency. If you're showing up every single day, I don't care if it hurts, okay? We didn't build this business overnight, and I, like you said, we have a plan where I'm out there not everywhere, but I'm out there where my peeps are hanging out every single day. Even if I hear crickets, I don't get discouraged. I go back and do it again the next day. I tweak the message, right? I try to get really interactive with people. I add a lot of value. Because in business, it's more about building relationships than it is selling anything. So money is the end result, actually. You know, when you're so focused on the money, you're never going to make it. But if you're actually focused on doing what you do best, playing into your skill set and your strengths, and you're out there building relationships with people left, right, sideways every single day of the week, you will be positioned as an expert in your space. You'll be building credibility and visibility, and you will become successful in reaching those goals. So showing up every day, no matter what, and doing a plan. You know, I don't know where your clients hang out. I know where my clients hang out, but everybody's different. Don't get overwhelmed also by the noise. There's a lot of things going on, okay? I find a lot of people, I teach this course, The Millionista Mastermind. It's phenomenal. I love it. I have a bunch of women in the class. And we talk about the noise, the social noise. How to quiet that noise, right? There's like a million other things going on in the world right now. And sometimes they're spending hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours on social media with no tangible goal set. There's no reason just to be there and just scrolling through a news feed. If you're doing that, stop. It's not going to grow your business. It doesn't matter if Sally's children are getting on the school bus today for the first day of school. That's not going to help your business, right? And we can be tempted to do that. So if that's something that you love and you're passionate about, then set aside time every day that you do that, right? But get specific about it. Because if you're not on top of your time, you definitely can't reach all those goals. So,
and definitely, so as you said, let's just remind again what the 3 C's were. Consistency,
credibility, consistency, and visibility. Visibility,
okay, those are
credibility, and consistency.
Exactly. And that, just being the same places. And as I said, you can, like with Facebook groups, you can get sucked into belonging to like hundreds of groups. But unless you focus on where your clients are, you can't be everywhere all the time. So I know, like you and I are parts of similar groups. And I know I see your post every, I'm like, where did she come up with this great? That's a really good question. So would you say, do you plan those? Do you do them on the cuff, or do you plan them out and say, okay, the next few days? So even in a week, you know what you're going to post,
days.
right?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So give us some tips of how do you find that content? How do you sit and write it as if it's like a mini blog post?
Yeah, real life experience, things that are happening in our business. You know, I have a team of people that help me. I don't do this all by myself. I couldn't do this all by myself. But we strategize a month in advance. We sit at the end of the month, we look at the calendar and say, okay, what do we have going on? What do we just experience? What's coming up, and how can we just talk about it? We're just talking about it from a really real point of view. And that's the thing, when you're connecting with people, building relationships, they like to see authenticity. They like to see that you understand. Maybe they're not the only one this is happening to. So we just talk about what's really going on in our business, and that's it. We plan it a month in advance, and we have a schedule. Everything we do has a schedule. We're like pretty crazy with our time. But it's called the Facebook group domination schedule. And we know what groups, initially, before we started posting all these things out in advance, we did join a bunch of groups to see what groups were a great fit for us, what groups we were getting the most interaction. And we took a couple of weeks to just monitor that. We then decided on maybe 10 tops at the max that we're very active in, and that's it. And then we have it on a schedule where we do it every day. It takes 10 minutes to post it, and there's multiple times a day that my assistant is going and following up with people. Obviously, these people know my voice, and if it requires me, the real me, then you can send me a Facebook message or join my group and tag me. I mean, I'm always available. I get notifications, but I do not spend all of my time in Facebook groups every day, because that's not a good way to build a business.
So if someone who doesn't have a team that has an assistant that can copy and paste their comments, I mean, would you say that maybe in the beginning to kind of do them yourself to kind of get a feel?
I did it all myself. And then basically they would follow what I was doing. Okay. So, sometimes they'll screenshot me a message privately and be like, hey, this person really needs to talk to you. Of course, I'm available. But if it's a basic response, then I'm not always answering it, quite frankly.
So every time your phone beeps, you turned off your notifications, and so you don't get every little.
I have probably over 1,000 notifications a day, and many of them are private messages. And it would be simply impossible to build a business like that. So yeah.
So you got to know and focus on what works and what's really.
But
effective.
when I say, oh, I'm popping into a group, it's really me. It's nobody else. But if we're just commenting and replying, oh, thanks for the feedback. I mean, you have to get systematic about it. You have to be smart with your time.
Yeah, definitely, because these groups and social media can definitely be a time suck. But for those who are on the call, definitely make sure to click on the little bird, tell a little bird, and tweet to share about what Stephanie has to share, because she's got some great tips that she's offering us that really will help us stay on track. And just to remind everyone, if you've recently joined us here at Mimika TV, we do a goodie giveaway. And what Stephanie has given away is an upgrade to her My Collaborate virtual conference valued at $97. And she's going to give us a little bit of information about that. But while she tells us about that, I'm going to ask you a question. And the person who is the fastest to type in the comments with the answer will be able to win the prize. So start telling us about the conference. I'm going to think of a question to ask, but tell us a little bit about what this Collaborate virtual summit is.
Well, it's so excited. I can't even wait. I hopefully I can survive until then, but I'll kind of tell you how it was born first, and I'll tell you a little bit of information about it. So I was sitting over a year ago in a live conference. It was a 3-day conference, and I started doodling in my notebook. And it was phenomenal. It was great. It's great. Being in that type of setting is just like you start buzzing with ideas and creativity, and just opens the floodgates up for you and your business. So I started doodling because I was like, I don't want to limit this to geographic locations. I want to be able to have women all over the world come together along with my favorite lady bosses to really have just an opportunity to learn from these women in business, right? So from all different angles, learn how to do the marketing, learn how to create sales funnels, learn how to do Facebook ads, learn how to position yourself as the expert in your space, using your authentic voice, like just everything and anything possible for building a business. What do you really need to know, right? So I doodled it out over a year ago, had some speakers that I would like to have on board. And I closed the notebook because, you leave the conference and what happens? Sometimes we lose that buzz. A couple of weeks later, we go to real life. Business is still going. We get involved in that. So we kind of forget. So I was moving a little over a month ago and I found the notebook. I didn't remember what I had written in it, but I was flipping through the pages because I was doing like a paper purge, just getting rid of everything that I didn't need. And found my notes from that day, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I looked at my notebook. I was like, "This is real life now. This vision that I had written down has actually come to life." And in fact, now we're 6 days away from it. It starts September 30th, runs through October 2nd. There are 30 women worldwide, actually more than 30 women, because we actually have expert panels. So it's live, interactive. It's just like this. There's the chat box. You can tune in.
Oh, wow. So it's not like a pre-recorded, people watch a video and stuff. It's actually
so
live.
Pieces of the content are pre-recorded, but every speaker will be required to do a 15-minute live Q&A. So yeah, it's totally interactive. I feel like we're breaking the internet, like most things in this big capacity, because thousands of women have already signed up. It's absolutely free because the reason why I started Success Society was because I don't believe in competition. I don't believe that it exists. I believe there's always an opportunity to collaborate with another amazing woman boss, lady leader, because we all have unique skill set and unique strengths. So when we just focus on what we do the best, we can learn a lot from each other. And I wanted to bring that layer of belief to women worldwide, that you don't have to do this alone, first of all. And there's nobody in your space, no matter what you do, no matter how many coaches there are, there's nobody that's going to coach like you do. Because whatever it is that is your greatest skill set and your greatest strengths, your God-given gifts, focus on that, and you can come together and have people surrounding you that can help you with all the other things. So
definitely great advice, I tell you. And you say people can still sign up for the actual conference?
It's free to join. It's collaborarichconference.com.
I'm going to get the URL because we can type it in the comment section. Collaborarich. Wait, no, I think I spelled it right. If you want to type it in there while I come up. So the question I'm going to ask our audience today, so they can win an upgrade to the $97 package, and that's so you can get all the recordings, right?
So you can have. So it's 30 hours of the recordings. It's also 1 year access to Elite, the Success Society Elite membership, where you get 5 new training modules a month to help you build your life and business. Also, you get access to a passion planner where you can input your greatest goals, dreams, desires, and passions on a monthly basis to keep you on track. I'm a goal digger, so that's a big deal. And you are also entered to win with the upgrade a VIP Millionista prize pack valued at $10,000 with a private mentorship with me. And access to my Millionista Mastermind. And I'm also going to give you 10 hours of pre-recorded content that I have in the Millionista Vault. I'll give you access to that for free.
Oh, wow. That's a great package. So there, I've just typed it in the collaborarichconference.com. And we have Buki Peters who's saying, yay, hashtag passion planners. So the question, before we wrap up, but the question I'm going to ask you right at the beginning, the first thing we talked about, Stephanie is great about what? Setting what? What is the word that we know we need to do with ourselves in order to attain what we want to do in our life? What is that? Goals. There you go. Buki Peters has answered that. So congrats there. You have won our goodie giveaway. So if you could get in touch with Stephanie, just direct message her on Twitter and send her your email address. Then you can get in touch with her to be able to claim your prize.
Facebook is probably better if you can connect with me.
Facebook? Okay, yeah. So Facebook. So what is your, let me find you on Facebook.
Stephanie Nickolich.
You want your personal?
Yeah. You can email me on a personal.
Yes. There we go. I'm just going to type it in there so Buki can get your info. So make sure to get in touch with her. There you go. Perfect. She says she's got you. So that's what's exciting about being on Mimika TV Live is you get to win prizes that are worth good money. And this is great knowledge and that you can own and go back and go over. And I know, to be able to have that information with people, with like-minded businesswomen who've been able to share their expertise is really worth a ton. So, so if you've enjoyed what we've had to say, make sure to click on Tell a Little Bird and share it with your friends, and subscribe to Mimika TV here on Blab. We do these on a weekly basis, and sometimes I do a couple of interviews a week. And I love to find like-minded people like Stephanie who can really help you build your business and build the life of your dreams. So I got to say, thanks so much for joining us. It's been totally awesome. Last thing is to ask you, what would be your one takeaway tip? If people had to walk away with what it is you could leave them with.
Well, okay, it's a tip, and it's not necessarily my tip, but it's something that always sticks with me. And it was something that was said by Walt Disney, and that's, dreams really do come true when you have the courage to pursue them. So, if there's something that you want to go after, we always have these thoughts, and then sometimes something comes into our head, comes into play, and it's like, oh, I can't do that, right? These stories that tell us we can't do something. Success Society and the Collaborate Conference were nothing more than a dream that I had, nothing more than a vision that I had, that I could have just been, it's still in that notebook today if I hadn't acted upon it. So you really have the power to change your life or somebody else's life, with your incredible ideas. So when you have the courage to pursue them, go after it. Go after whatever it is that you want.
Exactly. So no more excuses. We can just do what we have, get out of our own way. It's something I know I've had to learn as well the hard way, to stop thinking and analyzing things to death and just take action using your goals that Stephanie has taught us. So total great advice. I'm going to say thanks so much. It's been fabulous having you on. And just to remind everybody, if you want more information that I only share with my newsletter community, I have, in actual fact, I'm going to put it in here, is a Blab interview prep sheet. So if you want to do more Blabs, you want to host your own show, you can go grab that download too. And I have another one that's on my homepage, which is a branding video series, how to design your business brand. And I've got a video series you can get there for free too, because I love to be able to help you achieve the business brand and position yourself as the expert that you know that you are. So I'm going to say thanks, Stephanie, for joining me. I so appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Good luck with the conference, the virtual summit, and with baby. I'll be following you on
my first baby is the Collaborate Conference, and then my second baby, the real baby, she's coming soon. But yeah, thank you very much.
As a little girl,
yeah, little girl,
so
Mila.
Cute.
So it's been
Mila. Oh, that's so
Mila,
cute. So I love that.
Mini Millionista. So thank you so much for having me here today. It's an absolute pleasure. I love having an opportunity to connect with like-minded women and just, bring some awesome value to the world. So thanks so much.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to the Mimika TV on Blab, and we'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye.